Okay, we're live and we're recording.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to a special meeting of the City Council. And I guess we can get going.
Good evening and welcome to a special meeting of the Council of the City of Long Beach, held Monday, July 13th, 2020 at 7 p.m. We'll have a roll call. Councilmember Delury,
Present.
Councilmember Mandel,
Present.
Councilmember Treston,
Present.
Vice President McGinnis, President Bendo. Let the record indicate the presence of City Manager Donna Gaden and Corporation Counsel Simone Freeman will now have a salute to the flag.
Vice President McGinnis, would you please lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. So, good evening, folks. So, let me tell you why we are here tonight. As many of you may know, we have a sewage consolidation project that's in the works where Long Beach's sewage treatment plant will be converted into a pumping station, and instead our sewage will be taken up to the Bay Park sewage treatment plant up in Oceanside. As part of that, there are some land use easements that have to be approved by the legislature up in Albany. And for them to do that, which they're supposed to do on Wednesday, both the city and Nassau County had to approve some land use easements to allow the state then to go ahead and vote to confirm those easements to change the use of the land. And basically, in a nutshell, all it is to allow them to put a pipe underground. So the land, whatever the land is being used for, ultimately won't change. It's just that it allows them to dig this up and to put the pipe in. But to do that, we had to have a special meeting tonight because there's some deadline that they have to meet in Albany, which requires them to vote on Wednesday morning. So we had to have this meeting tonight, and then we actually have to physically deliver the hard copy signed of the resolution to Albany. So that's why it had to be done tonight. So that's basically the reason we're having this meeting. And then we put some other stuff on the agenda that we, instead of having to wait till next week to do it. So with that,
President Bendo, you also need to make note so everyone knows that we received the information for this meeting after the last council meeting. That's why it wasn't on the last agenda. We didn't get it until late last week.
Correct. We didn't get contacted from the state until Friday. And then the state was working on that legislation that we are going to be part of the resolution. They were working on it over the weekend, and we got the final version, I believe, this afternoon. So, so that's how the timing of all this worked out. So what we did is we noticed the meeting on Friday. Technically, the meetings really only have to be noticed 12 hours in advance. We did it 4 days in advance, but we noticed the meeting Friday, and then the state did what they needed to do over the weekend, got it to us this afternoon, and now both we and the county will do what we need to do and get the paperwork to Albany so they can vote Wednesday morning.
Okay, let me call the item. Item 1 is a resolution requesting the legislature of the state of New York to enact and the governor to approve an act to authorize the county of Nassau to discontinue use of certain lands as parkland located in the county's Bay Park, and to authorize the city of Long Beach to convey to the county of Nassau an easement through land located in the city's Veterans Memorial Park. And before we continue with this, we have an amendment. We need to swap out the bill numbers. The Assembly bill is A 10802 and the Senate S8730. Who will make a motion to swap out those numbers?
I will.
Who will second? Voting, Councilmember Delory,
Yes.
Councilmember Mandel,
Yes.
Councilmember Treston,
Yes.
Vice President McGinnis,
Yes.
President Bendo.
Yeah.
Okay, and I also have John Miranda on. I'm going to unmute him for this item.
Okay. Dave, what were the two modified bill numbers again, please?
Sure. The Assembly bill is A10802, and the Senate is S730. Mr. Miranda, you are unmuted.
Okay, so as part of the consolidation for the sewer plant, and by the way, the engineering and design work is moving along quite rapidly. As a matter of fact, Nassau County is going to be ready in September and October to go out for bids for the temporary pump station as well as the permanent pump station, and the force main will follow a month after. So in order to convey the wastewater when it comes into the plant, the county and the city decided the quickest route and the easiest route without disrupting as much land was to bring a directionally drilled pipeline from our new proposed pump station into the Bay Park plant. So in the Bay Park plant, there will actually be some structures that are going to be built on what was parkland. So that's why they need the parkland delineation. For us, we just need an easement because in order to directionally drill force main, a 24-inch force main, and get under the bulkhead, we needed to drill under the skateboard rink, which will be quite deep, by the way. It shouldn't affect the skateboard. So we needed an easement for the county so that, because they'll own that pipeline. So that's what this is all about for us, is just supplying an easement, and because it goes through parkland, we needed to do the home rule on parkland alienation. And just as a heads up, this work will probably start next July of 2021, and probably for somewhere between a 3 to 4 month period while they build this force main. Unfortunately, the boat ramp and the dog park and the skateboard rink will be off limits. So unless anybody has any questions, that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Okay, to confirm this, but once the work is done, it will be returned to what it was before, basically, which is parkland.
Actually, John, will not disturb the property at all. They're going to be probably 20 feet under the skate park. But anytime you're doing any kind of tunneling, you don't want to take a chance that something collapses. And if it does, then the contractor will be responsible for repairing. But I think the chances that it happen are very, very slim. But for the sake of safety, you don't have people using the skate park. So.
All right. Were there any other questions from the council? All right.
I don't have a question. I'm sorry to
Go
interrupt.
ahead.
I don't have a question, but let me just pull it up. The Bay Park project, it will involve the DEC. And there's a virtual public meeting on July 15th that starts at 6 p.m. There's no link to sign up to it prior. So I'm just going to give the website, and when you go there, you can click on it if you want to go Wednesday night, July 15th, and hear more about the project. It's a virtual public meeting. So the website is Bay Park Conveyance, BAYPARKCONVEYANCE.org/meetings. And you can go there and at that time and join to have discussions with your neighbors about the project. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions from the council? All right. Did we get any questions from the public? Oh, yes, no, I'm not. Okay, I'm going to take that as a no. So we're going to do something a little different this meeting. We're going to be going into an executive session after item 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to vote after each item 1 and 2. So anybody that that's just interested in those can leave and doesn't have to hang around for the executive session to get the results of the vote. So, Dave, why don't we move on
Yep.
and vote on this
So-
one?
So item 1 is a resolution requesting the legislature of the state of New York to enact and the governor to approve an act to authorize the county of Nassau to discontinue use of certain lands as parkland located in the county's Bay Park and to authorize the city of Long Beach to convey to the county of Nassau an easement through land located in the city's Veterans Memorial Park. Who introduce and move the adoption of this item as amended?
I will.
Second?
I will.
Voting. Councilmember Delory,
yes,
Councilmember Mandel,
Yes.
Councilmember Treston,
Yes.
Vice President McGinnis.
Yes.
President Bendo. Okay. Item 2 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to pay administrative costs under the Emergency Tenant Protection Act, authorizing the passing of an administrative cost to the owners of the buildings included under such act, and directing the city controller to make billing therefor. And we have Ray Flammer on. Ray, I'm going to unmute you for this item.
Hi, good evening, council. This is the fee that the New York State Homes and Community Renewal Department passes on to the city for opting into the ETPA program, which is the rent stabilized apartments in the city. This fee then is passed on to the landlords of the buildings, not to the tenants. Currently, there are 24 buildings in the program with 438 apartments. Over the years, the apartments have been deregulated based on the sale of co-ops, which were opted out in 1992 by the city, and by high rents being stabilized, which was changed by law in 2019 by the state. So there are 383 ETPA apartments which will remain on regardless of what their rents are. And there are 51 units that are co-ops that will eventually probably fall off based on co-op sales. Any questions? No?
Those of you that didn't participate in the last meeting, this item had been tabled at the last council meeting because we needed to confirm the number of units, which we did since the last meeting. Are there any questions from the council? Okay. Were there any questions from the public? All right, hearing none. Dave, we could move on to,
No, we're going
to
to
voting?
vote on this item. So
Yeah.
item 2 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to pay administrative costs on the Emergency Tenant Protection Act, authorizing the passing on of administrative costs to the owners of the buildings included under such act, and directing the city controller to make billing therefor. Introduce and move the adoption of this item.
I will.
Second?
I will.
Voting. Councilmember Delory,
yes,
Councilmember Mandel,
Yes.
Councilmember Treston,
Yes.
Vice President McGinnis.
Yes.
President Bendo.
Yeah,
Item 3 is a resolution authorizing an agreement and release.
okay, so we're going to go into executive session because we have to get some information from our attorney. So just one thing to note, some of you may be wondering now, we've been going into executive sessions at some of the meetings. The reason for that is the way the city charter is the city, that's the process that the city is supposed to use, or the council is supposed to use when it needs to get like legal information from its attorneys, things like that. Previously, that wasn't followed. We've decided we're going to follow that. So what we're doing is now we're following proper procedure. So that's why you now see us sometimes at the working meetings, and also now at council meetings. We go into executive sessions to, like I said, to get some information from our attorneys. So we're going to do that now. I'm guessing this will probably take about 20 minutes or so. So we should be back in about that amount of time.
Okay, so I need a motion here. Motion to go into executive session to discuss pending litigation.
Yeah, I'll make that motion, to David Frazier, that we go into executive session to discuss.
I'll second it.
Voting, Councilmember Delory,
Yes.
Councilmember Mandel,
Yes.
Councilmember Treston,
Yes.
Vice President McGinnis,
Yes.
President Bendo.
Yeah,
All right, folks. So I'm going to stop the stream. This video will end for folks that are viewing on YouTube. I will put up a part 2 video that will start when we recommence back to the regular meeting to vote on the last 2 items. So I'm going to, just give me 1 minute. I'm going to stop this current